Alright, good evening guys, here I am again with one of my late night streams, and tonight we are doing U-Boat again, the World War II submarine simulation. You dive into the role of a captain, a Captain Lieutenant of a German submarine in the Second World War. That's what it is about. And yeah, the game is called U-Boat, and it's just great. I would say it's the best submarine sim ever. But yeah, of course, that's a bit natural because yeah, things improve, graphics improve, and better machines for better simulations. But there is a few concepts in this game which I would call, well, if not revolutionary, at least pretty forward thinking and different than what the other guys did up to now in their simulations. So let's take a look at that. I am actually doing a complete playthrough through the game. Yeah, the game takes place in a complete open world. So you have a map like this where you can just go anywhere, and all the coasts, all the coastlines, and also all the depths at sea are simulated. So you not only even have some exact coastlines, but you also have pretty, detailed depths of the seabed, which is, at least when it's something like below 200 meters, it is quite relevant for you. So, what did I do? I started the overall war campaign in the very beginning of the war, which was September 39. I started in the port of Wilhelmshaven with a very small, Type 2 submarine with limited range, very low maximum speed, few torpedoes, and with these I was starting to go for the North Sea and for the close Atlantic, doing missions there, and by progressing and being successful, one day I was promoted to being the captain of a Type 7, and now I'm sailing with the Type 7C, which is quite some handsome ship. And meanwhile we are 2.5 years into the war. It's August 1942, and believe me, it took me quite a while of gaming to get here. I started this campaign, well, when the update came out, when actually the game left the early access, which is, I don't know, it was last year, not quite sure, it's not a year ago, but more than half a year, I would say. So since then I'm playing continuously and enjoying the immersion of the game, trying to share these impressions with you guys in the stream. So nice to have you in, and let's check where we are. At the moment I am doing a patrol mission in the northwestern Atlantic, offshore of the coast of Canada. So if you know the game, you know that usually on a patrol mission you have the patrol area marked, but I actually already sank the 10,000 tons that I was supposed to sink, and I would be free to go back to my home port, but having taken all that effort to cross the Atlantic, getting additional fuel at my milk cow and being around here, I just went back to the milk cow, got some more torpedoes and fuel and food, and went back to the mission area, because even though the actual mission is over, still any ship that we sink in these quadrants here will account for Operation Drumbeat, where in total finally I need to sink 200,000 tons, and you see we are not completely far away from that. Now it's nighttime, and if you have visited my stream last night, then you might remember that we were tracking down a merchantman, finally intercepted him, and yeah, it turned out to be Swiss, it turned out to be neutral, and we will send a boarding team on board to inspect the merchantman, and we didn't find anything suspicious, so I had to let them go without sinking them. And now we are going to continue our patrol along that way, and well, doing something like every 6 hours doing a hydrophone check to figure out if there is any enemies, well, any moving propellers around. Let me quote it like that, because whenever we dive, we have an enormous detection range with our hydrophone, detecting just anything within 70 to 90 miles. Yeah, you get the reports from Mr. Schneider, who is continuously taking care of the torpedoes, doing some constant maintenance here. These yellow bars, they actually occur, whatever bars they assigned, they make visible the maintenance status. So torpedo tube 1 being the most maintained, and these two might need some maintenance soon. The problem is, the smaller the maintenance bar, the higher the probability that you get a dot, that you have some problems with the pistol. Yeah, the crew berths, officers' berths, radio man, and by the way, do I really need both of them? No. The radio man can take a rest. Mr. Breen, take your time off watch. Mr. Hinrich at the hydrophone. Now one crewmate takes over at the radio. And here we are in the Operation Central. Let's see, do we have water in the bilge? Yes, a bit, so let's order one of the crewmates to turn on the pump. That's the petty officers. I'm sorry, the petty officers' bunks, the galley. Let's check the stores. Yeah, you see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of food to offer to the crew. And yeah, if you know a bit about the game, you know that you burn a lot of food per time when you offer them these different ones, but what you get for that is better moral. Here I'm struggling with the discipline because my crew is, yeah, suffering of quite some fatigue of -13. You see it there in this mouse over window. And with the varied dishes I try to compensate that. So if I offer different food, that keeps the crew happy, even though they are pretty fatigued by now. But you see, in total we still have a negative budget. Here we can send, yeah, I think here is one guy supporting Mr. Lamprecht, our captain, on the bridge, on observation, but we don't need that, so we can send him to bed. And now, well, if we... Yeah, the guys that support the officers, they are actually off-watch crewmates. They are the watch crew group, the watch group, they actually operate the ship. They are at the engines, they are on the bridge, they are at the helm, they're, operating the galley or cleaning the ship. And the off-watch crew, they are the ones, if the officers need additional support here to make them more efficient, that's the off-watch crew. And if you have too many of the off-watch guys assigned to a job, they also will drop in discipline. Yeah, we have a full complement of torpedoes at the moment. Yeah, you see we are at red light. This is done automatically since a few updates. So whenever it's night, the crew turns on the red light, and this really makes a difference. With the red light, you have a better eyesight in the darkness. Although, yeah, me playing with almost 100% difficulty level, I'm playing with dark nights, so at night it's always pretty tricky to get your bearing. And there in the east, we already see the first hint of the rising sun. And yeah, let me do this last introductory remark. You see in the time, yeah, it's the 10th of August in 42 and it's 6:30. But we have to keep in mind that this is not the local time, but this is European time. Greenwich or Berlin, I'm not quite sure. But we have something like 4 or 5 hours of time difference between local time and this time that we had there. And that means that the sun rises considerably later according to our time than what you would expect here at local time. Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, we can't get the full time acceleration yet. This is because the Swiss merchantman is still closed somewhere around here, but we can't see it in the darkness anymore. Now, let's do the time acceleration. You see I have Mr. Terminal at the map with 2 additional sailors. So this will on the one hand reduce fuel usage a bit, because yeah, the assumption is that when you have a few guys giving detailed care to the map, that they can better handle currents and drifts from wind, so that in total you need less fuel to get from A to B. And on the other hand, the navigation correctness is gonna increase when you have people at the map. And when you don't have anybody at the map for too long, navigation correctness drops to 0, you're lost and you lose your position on the map. And then it would take a while until you get it back. Let's briefly check. So we see that fog was coming up. Okay, that's a bit weird because it doesn't look foggy at all. Just the sunrise. Nice sunrise at 20 to 9. It's in the middle of summer. Nah, not in the middle, but August is still late. Middle summer. And so you would expect the sunrise to be considerably earlier according to local time. And yeah, there you see what we have here is Greenwich time, or I don't know. If anybody in the chat has any idea what time the German Navy was using in the Second World War, they were taking Greenwich time as reference, or maybe Berlin time, I don't know. Yeah, I can't mention it often enough. I love the graphics of that game. Also here the reflections on the hull, the spray going up, smoke coming out of the exhaust of the diesel. Yeah, I love it. Okay, now it looks like that fog is no fog. So interesting. So that's a bit buggy, I would say. I never had that before, that I had a fog sign down here and actually not having fog. Well, however. It's a nice day with almost no clouds. On we go. Maybe until 2 o'clock. And then we might want to do another hydrophone check, shall we? Okay, now we have pretty bad weather. It is 2 o'clock, so local time would be more something like 10 o'clock in the morning. And we have 18 knots of wind speed, which is quite a bit. Hi, Josh. Nice to have you in. Good evening. Well, good evening from my point of view. A bit earlier from your point of view, I think. Yeah, how are you doing? How was your weekend so far? Okay, you asked artificial intelligence, and they say that the German Navy back then used Central European time, which actually would be Berlin time, probably, from their point of view. Oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, 18 knots of winds. That's quite some wind speed. Quite a storm, actually. And yeah, we see the waves and it's raining, and here, listen, what I pretty much like is this kind of sound of the rain drumming on the hull. And also being a bit modulated, like, yeah, the wind coming in gusts. That's really great. And yeah, let's do a hydrophone check, guys. So you see the crew clearing the bridge. So Mr. Trummer now is opening the valves, and one crewmate is already at the depth steers, the other one arriving, and now we can see how the ballast... they are already full, so that's fast. The crew has been run into the front compartment. The off-watch crew, actually. Yeah, might make sense. I mean, actually, I think they would have 2 clocks on board, right? Like on any ship, you would have one clock which shows the Berlin time for your BDU, for synchronization with the BDU, and you would have one clock which you would actually adjust according to, yeah, the stars or the sun, to have it on local time. All right, here we are. 50 meters, the crew has turned off the engines, and so now we are doing silent running, not quite. The gyro is still on, the dive planes are electric still, and the crew doesn't have special orders to be quiet. But still, we have reduced sound emission and reduced disturbance, and this gives us now quite some range. Now, on the surface there is rain going down and we have a storm going with 18 knots. So this actually reduces our hydrophone range because we get quite some noise. And while at optimum weather conditions we could have a radius of up to 90 miles, now we just get 40 miles of detection radius. One of these wonderful features of the game where, yeah, physics and reality is really taken into account. Now, Mr. Preen, we can send another sailor from off-watch to support Mr. Preen, and this would increase our range just a bit. There you see the radius going up, but I think maximum for 10 miles, not even, but a bit. So are you actually playing it in the hardcore way that you restart when you get sunk? I mean, that you really stop the game and start a new one when you get sunk? Pretty much like that approach, but yeah, for me it would be a bit too tough, I think. Yeah, it's quite some challenge. And pretty hard. I mean, if you have a crew which is good, have a good boat, and then you just get sunk in May 42 and say, that's it, I start a new game, beginning of the war. Is this what you would do? Respect. Now we have some contacts not too far away, and it says, so Mr. Preen at the hydrophone says that it's a pretty large convoy with 18 to 38 units. He can't really tell. And yeah, it must be somewhere here. I give it a guess and call this convoy 01 position. Yeah, that's a good approach. That's definitely how I would do it. If it's a glitch or if you, well, really do some stupid mistake, then I would reload. But yeah, but if you say it was just gameplay, yep, I like that approach. But as I said, I don't dare to put that restraint upon me. So when I do a hydrophone check, I usually finish all the 5 minutes, which is standard procedure, just to be sure if there is nothing else around, that I don't miss other contacts. And then we are gonna go back to the surface and go flank, speed, and head for that contact for, let's see, probably 1 hour. And then, yeah, if we go for them for 1 hour, we are there. They are very close, actually. So that was the order to blow the tanks. Mr. Trummel is now opening the valves to let our compressed air stream into the ballast tanks and push the water back out, the seawater back out where it belongs. Hey, yippee yep. Nice to have you in. Good evening. So, how was your Saturday? What did you figure out? Ah, okay, how to upload. All right, let me see. Oh, well, allow me first to briefly settle my orders, and then I will love to take a look at that picture. So we are relatively close, so I think under these circumstances I would go for just something like 15 minutes and then do another reading. And my guess is that the convoy is outgoing, so maybe I'm gonna go like that. And first guess would be that they are moving with maybe 8 knots, so if I go for 15 minutes, they would be just there. Maybe I should go for half an hour. What? Yeah, now us going flank speed. We have quite some wave going, which means, yeah, wind speed is increasing from 18 to 19, and in the waves we are not going maximum speed actually. The waves actually break us down, but 12 knots, that's slow. We should be faster than 12 knots. Yeah, but obviously we are not in that storm. That's reasonable that the storm breaks us down. Usually when you have flat sea, we should be going with 17 knots. Average speed at flank. Going half an hour would be something like 6 miles. Let's get there. It's 20 past, so let's go until 10 to 3. Give it a save. I'll give it a new save W219. And yeah, that's terrible when you get attacked by these sets of 5 or 6 airplanes when you are leaving the base or when you're just entering the base. Yep. That also feels, yeah, it might be realistic, but it feels a bit unfair. Now, let's go for that half an hour, and then I want to do another hydrophone check. Of course, the convoy could actually be going much faster. Now we are going a bit faster, so that's a bit irregular. In the storm, our top speed is pretty changeable. Oh wow, okay, great. So, what kind of music is it? Is it classic music, or what are you actually playing tomorrow? Yeah, acquiescing. If you can time it right, just full reverse back into the pen. Yep. Hi, by the way, acquiescing. Great to have you in. How are you doing? Hope you also had a good day. And what we are going to do a hydrophone check. It's 10 to 2. Okay, all right. So, what do you have? I mean, what's your menu? Oh yeah, nice. Sounds good. And there we go. Diving. There we go, a diving. I love the graphics. Although at night or in this bad illumination, it's not as good as it would be on a clear day. Down we go. By the way, what's the depth of the ocean here? We get it via mouse over. You see it here. And yeah, it's 2,500 to 3,000 meters, so it's pretty deep around here.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
Yeah, okay, alright. Yeah, nice. Sounds good. To be honest, right now, Greensleeves is the only one that rings a bell with me.
50 Meter.
Nice song, actually. When the light is right, yep. In the dark, but that's for just any game, yeah. You know, I'm also streaming DayZ, open world shooter, zombie apocalypse game. And yeah, I don't like to play at night there. Don't like to stream at night, but well, here it's not that bad. But what we see is that a thunderstorm has actually started. And
Herr Kapitän?
now okay, my guess was not too bad.
50 Meter.
So at the moment it looks like they're there. Convoy 01 I called it. So in this half an hour they were going something like 3 miles. So my guess was right. They are heading for Europe. And yeah, they are going less than 8 knots if my figures are right. Yeah, we always have to keep in mind that the hydrophone is pretty unprecise, and they nicely simulate that in the game. Yeah, my Saturday was fine, so I could sleep pretty long, something like I got up at 9 o'clock, briefly past 9 o'clock, and yeah, our daughter went out getting some rolls for the breakfast while I was preparing breakfast, and so we had a nice breakfast with the family. My wife was in, which is not self-explaining because most of the time she has to work early on Saturday. But yeah, tonight we were together. Our son, our daughter, my wife and me had a nice breakfast. So everything was pretty relaxed. And yeah, I might have mentioned that I like to cook, so went shopping around lunchtime, and then in the afternoon I prepared a, how do you call it, a roast pork. Quite some nice lump of pork, roasted with gravy, vegetables. That early. Do you have a long way to school, or? I think also around your place it wouldn't start that early, right? So I guess you do have quite some way to go here. Hey Josh, yeah, I have been playing Hell Let Loose, and I quite liked it. Once I was lucky to team up with some guys which pretty much knew what they did. That was nice with them in the squad, but if you don't have some good guys together to team up with, everything becomes quite a bit of a just running towards the front, get shot, respawned, running to the front, get shot, respawned. But yeah, if you have some guys to team up with, that's great. I like the game actually. Pretty much like the game Hell Let Loose. But if I may say so, there is one military shooter that I like even better, and that's Arma Reforger. Maybe they're a bit similar, the one being in Second World War, the other one in the Cold War, somewhere in the 80s or something. And yeah, that's actually my favorite military sim at the moment. I would say it's Arma Reforger. Now, assuming that hey, Boff Trouty, nice to have you in. Good evening. Hope you had a good day. How was your Saturday so far?
Auf Dieselmotoren wechseln.
Yeah, Josh, right. You could just get in any decade maybe, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, for Arma, generally, you do have quite a variety of mods. I'm not sure if for Arma Reforger you already have that many mods. Hey, Boff Trouty. Yeah, yesterday was, yeah, we didn't sink a single ship yesterday. We just followed that Swiss ship, and let's hope that today we get some action. There is actually a big convoy around here going roughly west, going roughly east towards Europe, and that's the one that we are gonna chase down now. Yeah, visibility is pretty bad. It's early in the day. It's only 3 o'clock. And keeping in mind that this is European time, it's even earlier. Something before lunchtime, local time. But yeah, visibility is pretty poor in this weather. And yeah, we have figured out that this convoy is roughly moving that direction. And about us, let's say we are going 7 miles, maybe a bit more. I would like to intercept them now, but let's go for another half an hour, and then do another hydrophone check. Now we have 2 data points, this one and this one. And as the hydrophone checks are pretty unprecise, I would not like to rely just on these 2 data points for the extrapolation of their course and interpolation of their speed. Hey, Boff Trouty, so that's a 3-stream streak. Nice to have you in, the 3rd time in a row. Yeah, okay, so you got it running. So, sorry, I didn't, I misinterpreted your remark at the beginning. But, so, you got it running, And you managed to sink a few ships. That's great to hear. Yeah, for the vacation, yeah, probably every player does it different, but I only send the crew on vacation if there is no other choice. Like if you look at the discipline, here I have a fatigue level of 14. If I now get back home, it will be probably up to maybe 20 before we are back to La Rochelle, and then I definitely have to send them to vacation, to shore leave. Yep. Yeah, okay, then it makes sense. Yep. Yeah, if you have an experienced crew with some guys being specialized on discipline, and also your officers having some additional perks with respect to discipline, you could take a bit more fatigue. So later in the game, you usually can take more fatigue than in the beginning of the game. Yeah. So it's 3 o'clock. We are at the surface. It's quite wave and stormy and a thunderstorm going on. Yeah. Pretty rough weather. Let's go for another half an hour till 3:30. Or let's give it a save before. Just like get it on. Let's be precise about half an hour, and now I'm very curious about their position. Let's go.
Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Hydrophone checking again. Yeah, that's so comfortable that they implemented this standard workflow. That you don't have to do all these details, but just order the crew to do the hydrophone check, and then they know what to do. Yeah, the ballast tank is already filled. Off-watch crew had been run into the front compartment, and
E-Motoren wechseln.
down we go.
Alarm! Konvoi in Sicht! Stadtteilung! 75 Grad!
Wow, okay. They seem to be pretty close by now.
25 Meter.
But guys, now you can step away from battle stations for now. Yeah, if it's a large convoy, they might be spreading all across the ocean and being much closer. Then
50 Meter.
I might have that reckoned from these hydrophone checks.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kanoi?
Okay, there they are, but yeah, this dead reckoning wasn't too bad.
50 Meter.
So I would stick to the assumption that they are maybe moving with something like 7 knots. Let's get some marks onto the map.
Aktuelle Tiefe 45 Meter.
How they are spread. This one. And that's part of the bulk.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
More there. some ships which are obviously trailing behind. It would be nice if these were escorts.
50 Meter.
So some scenario which is pretty realistic in the game is that other German submarines are around and are also attacking, and this might be that some of the escorts are trailing behind because they were attacking another German submarine, or they might be on the other side of the convoy, distracted by another submarine. These things actually happen in the game and give it that wonderful immersion. Yeah, okay, nice. Very nice. So you get it running. So what about bug level? Is it still buggy? Because what I heard is that also on the other systems it is pretty stable. At least I think people from PlayStation said that it is pretty stable already since a while. But I think I remember you said you did have quite some bug problems on Xbox. Okay. Yeah, I never do that auto run back to the home base. I always do it manually. But yeah, I like that idea when you're relatively new in the game. Just make your life easier. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I mean, it's like when I am watching other streams. So this is like maximum. If you have something like 100 or 200 people in the stream, it still works because most of the guys are not active in the chat. So even if there are something like 100 or 200 people in a chat, you could still have a very personal relationship to the streamer and to those guys who are active in the chat. But if you go into a stream with something like 3,000 guys, it's completely anonymous. And I don't like these. I don't like them as a participant, like from the point of view of a watcher. I don't go into these large streams anymore. I very much enjoy streams where you just have something like 10 or 20 or 30 people. That's what I really love. And usually it's a kind of more, dense relationship between the people in the stream. And I'm not doing this for money or something. Just like to share my gaming experience. I like to do these little chats. And I just couldn't imagine to have a stream of something like 500 people or something. Yep. Yep, that's right. If you, there are good streamers which have loads of people in the stream, but then it's not about the chat, it's about watching their gameplay. Well, let's see if we go straight for periscope depth.
Aktuelle Tiefe 15 Meter.
So that's not very good because now we did. Okay, see, it didn't work. Didn't quite work. And there they are on the horizon. So we did overshoot. I wasn't fast enough. Yeah, that's better. Hey, Piap, thank you very much. Thanks for that very nice feedback. I pretty much appreciate that. Yeah, of course, like we are something like 5 to 10 people in the stream, and I think we could take a few more and still be, yeah, pretty close together. So guys, feel free to make some advertising for this stream. Would be great. Yeah, the month most fun, like right now, we have this kind of community, and this is why I really love streaming, having all these little chats. Yeah, I feel so comfortable with that, with you guys in the stream, and to know that there are a few guys who are not just anonymously watching, but yeah, actively taking part. Yeah, but I mean, if any of you guys watching is in the mood to just watch and lurk and not having a chat, of course, that's perfectly fine. Just like for me, it's always nice to have a few people being active in the chat. So at periscope depth, the hydrophone contacts are pretty unprecise. So let's see this guy. If he goes on for another half an hour, he would end up there. If I go on now, I'm going with flag speed, submerged, 10 knots. Half an hour. Yeah, let's do it like that, and let's get a little bit closer to them. Being on a parallel course. Let's give it a save. I'm trying to get and stay in front of them. And then I'm going to put myself right in front of them, turn off my engines, be completely silent, and let the convoy run across me, and then starting to fire torpedoes. Yeah, it's a bit of history, actually, yeah. So if I look back, I think in my family there was nobody at the Navy, actually. Both of my granddads, they were infantry guys in the war. And my one granddad, he died when I was pretty young, when I was just 4 or 5 years old. So I have no any memory really on him. But my other grandfather, I was very close with him because all the time that I went to school, his wife, my grandmom, she died pretty early, so he was alone, and he came for lunch to our place every day, all week. And so, yeah, he was really part of the family, and each day I had contact with him, and it was a lovely relationship. And although he was not a big talker about the war, he didn't tell much stories about the war, but over all these years, now and then he let out some kind of detail about the war that was very fascinating. And if I now looking back sum up all the details that he gave, it's quite amazing. And yeah, you just can't imagine how war actually is, how terrible and unromantic. But yeah, let's not be too negative. We do this here mostly because we are so fascinated by this technology. And yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, that's really the toughest thing. Being in such a submarine must have been. Yes. Yeah, the engines must emit a lot of heat, right? I was always thinking about when they are down at something like 100 meters trying to evade an escort. Down there, the water is pretty cold, so yeah, still probably it would be searing hot in the boat because, yeah, just only because of all the people. Yeah, something like that's usually when in the game when I am being spotted and being hunted by escorts, I go down to 120 meters. 130 meters, but not deeper actually, because yeah, when you get deeper, yeah, you really get some constant leakage, more and more constant leakage into the boat. Maybe later in the war it will change, but up to now, something like 120 to 130 meters uses to be sufficient to avoid depth charges, together with a little bit of active navigation. So what would be our difference to them right now? 3 miles. Just hope that they don't hear our propellers. We are going flank speed still. Sorry, Boff Trout, I don't quite get the point of your question, I have to admit. So 30 meters is still pretty shallow. If you're really being hunted, 30 meters is depth where you are in pretty much danger to get ripped by the depth charges. But yeah, as I said, I think I didn't quite get your question. Yes, okay. That's the mouse over, right? I mean, and this, I quite like this also. So look at this one here, that number, and then you do the mouse over all over the map and you get the depth. So for example, now if you look at the tip of the mouse, it's 100 to 200 meters there. And that's exactly how you have these depth lines on a nautical map. Yeah, but in one way you're completely right. It's pretty important for your tactics to know how deep it actually is. And if you are submerged and go with flank speed and run into the ground, that might severely damage your craft actually. Hey guys, there's a few more people dropping into the stream. That's great, thanks to have you in. I don't feel observed, I don't know who you are, just see the numbers going up, making me happy. So we are in the middle of not quite in the middle of an attack, but we are just about trying to infiltrate a convoy. Yeah, we are going 10 knots, being submerged. The convoy is going something like 7 or 8 knots.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle, Herr Kaloy?
Yeah, they are. Really trying to get in front of them. I know. Yeah, I mean, that's always the best solution. And war is always the worst solution, of course. Ah, yeah, no, that's nice. And yeah, if they're in the beginning of the war, you sometimes even have completely unprotected convoys or just 1 or 2 escorts. But now, when you have something like 15 merchantmen, you have a chain of something like 10 escorts evenly distributed all around that bulk of merchantmen. And this is also one of these features which I love so much about this game, that you really have this realistic feeling that things are getting harder, that the enemy is learning along the war and making things better.
Ja.
Okay, I wish the guys wouldn't put up the periscope. Yeah, they don't. Okay. But let's do this little bit of cheating. Hey, Scratchy, haven't seen you for a few days. Nice to have you back in the stream. How are you doing? So, how was your Saturday? And how was your last 2 weeks or something? I think we haven't been seen a week or something, at least. There they go. And these guys there, they are heading straight for me. Usually, if you look at the size, at the shape of the smoke, these guys are heading straight for me, and these are more like passing by. So, to get in the way of these ships, I still have to turn south a bit. A week, yep. Yeah. Yeah, you have a name that you can well remember, Scratchy. Always reminding me of The Simpsons. A weed week, okay? So I don't want to know the details of what you did in the week if it was a wheat week. Yeah, Buff Trouty. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is a game where you really have to put some time into, let me say, dump some time into to actually get it going. Hey, please. I don't want to get derated on Twitch because we have some kind of weird discussions. Hey guys, I don't know. Now, if you use the word more frequently in the chat, I don't know, do I get banned, or maybe in the ranking to other watchers I just would be ranked lower? I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. Is it? Okay. In Germany, it's actually legal since a year or something. So they changed law. Yeah. Yes, let's respect that wish and get back to our main topic, which is U-boat. And let's see how we can actually get. Yeah, well.
Ja?
Yeah, today it was pretty bad. It was rainy, so we had some kind of, how would you call it, sizzling rain. And it was pretty dark all the day and getting night pretty early. So it was a wonderful day to stay at home. I just went out once by car to buy some food. I couldn't even tell how warm it was. Maybe something like, I think around here it's more something like 10 degrees. I would guess. I didn't check actually. But still kind of ugly weather, very uninviting.
Torpedorohr 4 gewartet. Torpedorohr 1 gewartet.
Yeah, it's a bit to Cologne. It could well be that Cologne does have a bit of a different weather than we here in Frankfurt area, but yeah, it would still be kind of similar. Im Appleboyland. Yeah, exactly. Actually, I'm not living in Hessen. I'm living in Rhineland-Pfalz. But I'm working in Hessen. I'm working in Frankfurt, actually, but live in something like 40 kilometers west of Frankfurt. Hey, wow, that's so amazing. I mean, just couldn't imagine that right now there is so much snow somewhere to craft a snowman. Yeah. So where I grew up, we never had much snow. Yeah, same for me. Same for me. I actually grew up something like 50 kilometers north of Cologne. Like you just, as you just mentioned it. And like, there is, if you look at one winter, there would be just like something like maximum 2 or 3 days where you actually do have snow. Let's give it another save, W220, just to be on the safe side if I kind of do it wrong. Yeah. I remember the uncle of my wife, he's living in Quebec, and that's pretty interesting what he says about snow and what his trouble would be sometimes to get from the door of his house towards his car. Yeah. That about the snowballs, yeah. Hey, Scratchy, whom are you talking about? You know some guy from there? His way of life? No, question is what to do. Now we are pretty nicely ahead of that convoy. Okay. Yeah, I do quite like Appleboy actually.
Koordinaten setzen.
But the River Rhine is kind of a hard border. So on the western shores of the River Rhine, they drink wine, and on the eastern shores, which is Frankfurt, they do have the Appleboy, the apple cider. So here where I live, this is really some kind of wine area. Hey, Scratchy. Yeah, nice. So we're living at the same river. Only that we are something like 700 kilometers away from each other. Yeah, nice. So are you living in the north of Switzerland or in the east? By the way, we just in our last stream yesterday, we ran into a Swiss merchantman. And I was very suspicious. I boarded it and I searched it and I inquired the captain, but there was nothing suspicious to be found. And so I let them go without sinking them. I don't know. I think it's 16. There are some weird discussions about drinking under adult supervision or something like that, which I don't quite. Yeah, that's what you say. 14 with parents, which I think is a bit weird. Like, yeah, 16. 16 for beer and 18 for schnapps, for hard liquor, yeah. Yeah, but you can get beer in the supermarkets and in a pub with 16, actually. And yeah, for you it's 21 for anything, yeah. Quite amazing how different things are. By the way, hi guys, I just see the number of watches going up. So great to have you in. Don't feel observed, I don't know who you are, but I'm always happy to have a few more watches in the stream. And of course, let me advertise, I'm always happy if you participate in the chat or if you give me a follow, but don't feel pushed. Just sneakily watch if you're not up to conversation, just want to see how the game works. Now maybe I should send the captain to the attack periscope. Yeah, pretty much looks like they are coming in straight for me. Let's give these marks a dot each.
Ja?
This one is very close.
Herr Kapitän? Herr Kanoy?
Sorry, I'm a bit distracted at the moment. I'll be back with you, chat, in a minute. Just want to set all these contact marks onto the map.
Herr Kapitän? Herr Kanoy?
One there. Loads of ships. There should be some nice ship to be sunk by me, right? Okay, so it looks like I am getting nicely ahead of that convoy. Let me get a little bit further south and then turn off the engines and let myself being just overrun by the convoy. They're pretty close. Maybe it's a good time now to 2 miles. Let's go to halbe Fahrt, so to be sure that they don't hear me. Yes, yeah. So that's my old problem. I'm not able to do multitasking, but well, actually I think most people are not able to do multitasking, but there are just a few who don't see that they are not able to do that. And others are. By the way, allow me please to be AFK just for 1 minute. There they are, wow. And there it looks like some of them are already hull up. Look at that guy there. But let me pause and I'll be back in 60 seconds. Don't go away. Hi guys, back again. So having our cozy little chat here. I completely forgot about the fact that I in parallel am streaming on YouTube. Oh, hey, nice. There are a few guys on YouTube and I completely ignored them. I'm so sorry. So you guys on YouTube, Bobo the Fist, hey. Yeah, I've been also on my streams on Twitch, I clearly remember. Quinto Jill is back there. And Mon gets it. Oh yeah, sorry guys, so I haven't been heeding the chat on YouTube. The problem is that I can't merge the YouTube, Twitch and the Twitch chat. So very sorry guys that I ignored you. I think your comments are pretty old, so I would be very happy on some feedback if you're still in the stream. That would just be great. Yeah, sorry guys, but yeah, I mean, my major chat will always be on Twitch, definitely, so you're warmly invited also to join on Twitch, but I will, yeah, try to become better and really have a look at the YouTube chat just as well. Sorry guys for ignoring you. Ah, Quintogil, you're there. Yeah. Nice. Constant interaction. Okay, alright. Yeah. So that sounds a bit like you're working in parallel. Yeah, I don't know. It would be nice if I would get some kind of a sound when a comment comes in on YouTube. Of course, pretty sure you can put some settings like that, right? And it's still on my list to find out how to merge the YouTube chat and the Twitch chat. Yeah, Quinton Gill, great to have you in. I'm just very sorry that I did miss Boo Boo the Fist, because I have been seeing him for a while, and quite some time ago he was a regular guest in my Twitch streams. So I have a very bad conscience that I did not comment onto his chat remark, and I fear that he's not in anymore. However, let's get back to the game. I paused it, and there, let's continue going. Yeah, I'm actually using Streamlabs, and I hope. Yep. Okay, yes, I have to dive into how that actually works. Yep. I remember a friend of mine, an old friend, he had this little saying. So when we were talking about multitasking, he had this example of the single task multitask converter, which actually is a tray. So if you want to transport something like 8 glasses of beer, you can use a single task multitask converter, which would actually be a tray to put the beer on. So right now I think just want to turn my course into the way of that convoy. Let's just hope that we are lucky and get some of them. Yeah, we are still far away from... The weather has definitely improved, hasn't it? It's foggy. Yeah, no, it's just lightly foggy. In the past, you never had that light fog. You just had either no fog or tough fog with no visibility. But right now we do have some kind of... I thought that they would introduce this only end of January with the new update. But right now my impression is that we already have this kind of fog thingy. Anybody of you guys in the chat know about that fog? I never had this in the past, this kind of view. Always had, if there was fog, it was just tough, and now we really just have some kind of reduced visibility. My guess actually is that this guy is military, and I should try to stay away from that one. So let's go to Kleine Fahrt. reduce speed. And maybe change course a bit to get out of the way of that guy. Where I am pretty sure that that guy is a bad guy, an escort. This one there, pretty sure it's an escort. But these guys, like that one, that's definitely a transport. So maybe I could try to look onto that one. Pretty much looks like this one is going right in our way. So now the challenge would be to stay here silently, let them run towards us without this destroyer or corvette detecting us. That guy is also a destroyer, pretty sure, or say man of war, corvette or destroyer escort. That's a merchantman. This is a merchantman as well. You could faintly see these kind of cranes. And that one also, I think this is a corvette, probably one of these small improvised ships of war. Hey, great! You're using all these nice little emojis that I have. I don't know if there is any restraint using them. So in the past, never anybody did use them. Haha, nice. So why do you use them now and nobody else did use them in the past? Is it just coincidence, or did you have to follow? Okay, and then you get them. Yeah, nice. So at the moment it looks like that this guy is maybe passing by. Oh, I don't know that one. That's not one of my personal emojis, I think. Come on. I'm pretty frightened that this guy might actually spot me. So let's get the periscope down. And now something, sorry, yippee yap, what I've completely forgot is to take a look at the drawing. A little green fella. Yeah, okay. Nice. Hey, that's great. Sorry, I completely forgot that in the heat of battle. But yeah, the link is working. Little green fellow with the German flag and a mug of coffee. Nice. Hey, come on, I am gonna have to save that locally. Let's see if I can. How could I? Okay, I'm just gonna save it here. Nice. That's great. Yeah, there are, of course, a few guys which I am following just as well. But so you could use their emojis then also in other streams. So never actually he did that. So I did run in the periscope. Oh, that guy is passing by pretty close. Let's just hope that the guy is not detecting us. Propeller noise detected, yeah, of course. And loads of contacts all around. But if this guy is passing by without noticing us, we might be pretty well off. Yeah, it did. That's great. That's really great. I saved it locally. I like that drawing. Shit. They are detecting us, aren't we? Ah, come on. No, let's... Of course, I'm a bit... This is a bit of cheating. Using this kind of view. The quest... This guy actually pinged us. Now the question is whether he is gonna turn around and go in for us. Is it a Corvette or is it a grown out destroyer? Not quite sure. Let's take a look. No, it's just going straight ahead. It's not changing course. You would see it at the rudder if it were. So there is so much details about the game. There is another one. And there is a transport. Another transport. So I am there. Look at them. They are actually going for different courses, are they? Nope. All on the same course. And if this guy is passing by without detecting us... No! Okay. Now they are going for us. Now they are going for us. At the moment, let's take a look at the galley. We are having canned bread, cheese, vegetable, and bacon, preserved pork. That's our rations at the moment. It's almost 60 liters in the bilge. And 86% of air quality and 90% of battery capacity. The guy is going after us at the moment, maybe. Come on.
Ja. Zerstörer, 20 Grad.
Maybe we can sink the guy with some stern torpedo. just carry on and stay silent. Which one is it? It's so hard always to determine. Is it this one? Nope. Is it this one? I would say no.
Zerstörer, direkt voraus.
Be this one. Could be this one.
Halbe Fahrt, voraus.
Is it this one? Let's assume that it is this one. Velocity would be something like 14 knots. Angle on bow, I don't know. From their point of view, we are something like that. And what's their draught? 2.7. Distance.
Feindliche Schiffe geben Alarm.
Bleibt wachsam, aber keine Panik. Wir machen das schon.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estig geortet.
Yeah, alright.
Schussunterlagen aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 5, 7 Meter. Gegnerlage 6, 2 rechts. Gegnerfahrt 1, 4 Knoten. Rohr 5 bewässern.
Draught 3. Ah, shit.
Äußerste Kraft voraus.
Wasserbomben, sehr nah.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Oh, fuck. Do we get away? Yes, we get away like that.
Wasserbomben, sehr nah.
Ah!
Kurs setzen. Tauchen auf 50 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe, 10 Meter.
Ja.
Oh, fuck. Are we gonna get underneath that one?
Auf Seerohrtiefe.
25 Meter.
Wow. Wow.
45 Meter.
Get us to periscope depth again. That's pretty tough. That's pretty tough what we are doing here. We are gonna overshoot. We are gonna overshoot.
Herr Lloyd, feindliche Schiffe geben Alarm.
Zeit, unseren Mut zu testen, Männer. Auf Seerohrtiefe. Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
15 Meter. Herr Kaloi, wir sind auf Seerohrtiefe. Boot für Rundblick eingesteuert.
Bugrohre wieder einsatzbereit.
Alright. It's this one, isn't it? Yes, it is this one. Velocity is probably 8. Angle on bow at the moment, something like 90 degrees. And let's check the distance. So maybe we can get a torpedo on that one. It's of course a very uncomfortable
Schussunterlagen
Angle.
aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 4, 7 Meter.
There we go in. Shall we give it a try still? Oh shit. Oh shit. Now what's the draught of that one? 9.
Rohr 1 bewässern.
Torpedorohr 2 gewartet.
Rohr 1 bewässert.
Hey, come on, give me.
Aktualisieren. Gegnerlage 9-3, Bug rechts. Gegnerfahrt 8 Knoten.
Give it to me. Wanna fire on that guy? Why don't I get a torpedo solution? Please. Why don't I get a torpedo solution?
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Ah, come on. I don't know why. We just didn't get.
Rohr 1 bewässern. Rohr 1 bewässern. Aktualisieren. Lage 158 links.
Torpedorohr 3 gewartet.
Halbe Fahrt voraus.
Oh shit. They are really upon me. Let me be AFK for 1 minute and then see how we get out of this. So, draw 9. Shall we try a stone
Rohr 5
torpedo?
bewässern.
Let's see if we can fire that torpedo on that guy.
Aktualisieren. Entfernung zum Ziel. 5, 7, 6 Meter. Winkel. 1, 4, 4. Bug
come on.
links.
Give it to me. Give me the solution, please. Why does it take that long? Why does it take that long? Why don't I get... Yeah, there we are. Let's fire.
Los.
Wasserbomben! Sehr nah!
Korrekte Koordinaten setzen. E-Motoren besetzen. 40 Sekunden bis Torpedoeinschlag. Tauchen auf.
Hey, Chainsaw.
Aktuelle Tiefe.
Surprise. Yeah. That was.
30 Sekunden.
Augengeräusche. Direkt über uns. 20 Sekunden. Wasserbomben. Sehr nah.
Chainsaw, that was. You are coming in right in some kind of. Yeah, very tense situation.
Meter.
Yeah, I'm a bit busy, I have to admit. I am a bit busy. I don't know, did I hit one of these guys? Ah, there are so many escorts around.
Ja.
100 Meter.
All those ships, yeah. Yeah, Chainsaw, I'm doing fine. I'm having good fun, only that I just wanted to infiltrate a convoy and was detected prematurely by the escort. So I had to do some, I had to improvise. Yeah, I'm drinking what we call Weinschorle. So it's white wine diluted with water. Cheers, guys, by the way.
Herr Kaloin, wir wurden entdeckt.
Keine Panik. Konzentriert euch auf eure Aufgaben. Tauchen auf. 130 Meter.
Yeah, that's alright.
Aktuelle Tiefe. 105 Meter.
I think I don't have any whiskey at home at the moment. Sometimes I also love quite a bit of, a good sip of whiskey.
120 Meter.
So, Mr. Preen, can you tell us something about the hydrophone? I don't know. I don't know.
20 Meter.
Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Mr. Schneider, he's reloading the stern torpedo tube. That's good.
Meter.
And maybe we should
Reisekompass ausschalten. Alarm!
be on alarm by now and go for silent running.
Eure Ausbildung. Bleibt ruhig und konzentriert.
And go to manual. Manual depth steers. Yeah, it's a bit unrealistic that I just ordered to go silent running and then the alarm bell is going like that.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik geortet.
Oh shit. We didn't sink a single ship.
Aktuelle Tiefe 125 Meter.
We already do have a bit of water in the bilge. Ah shit, now I got to silent running. Yeah, that stopped the reloading of the torpedo. Nevertheless. Please do that anyway. Although, yeah, loading the torpedo of course makes quite a bit of noise, so when you order silent running, they stop that. Yeah, Chainsaw, sorry, I was a little bit distracted, so I didn't give you a decent greeting. So nice to have you in. Good evening. And how are you doing? How was your Saturday? How was your... Yeah, hope you had a smooth running out of the week. There is really loads of escorts with that convoy. Almost 100 liters of water in the bilge by now. Yeah, okay, so not much to do at work. Quite comfortable if you have to work on Saturday. Yeah, Buff Trouty, that's right. We can take much more water than that, but, well, it's gonna become more. And so, this kind of level, when you see that you're at around 100, that's something when, yeah, it starts my awareness, to put it like that. There is ships clearly coming in on us. Yeah, they're having us. Didn't fire a single bow torpedo, did I? The pump would be too loud, that's right, yep. I wouldn't do it right now.
Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Kommandant, ich kann so nicht. Ich erwarte.
Yeah, well, if I might have a destroyer right above me, then that's the situation when I'm gonna turn on the pump. Yes, exactly. Reloading and maintaining is loud, but I'm taking that risk at the moment. And listen, I think my own sounds are pretty much masked right now by all the noises of the propellers of the surrounding ships. That's at least my hope. Air quality 80%, 88% battery capacity. Yeah, we are being pinged, yeah.
Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Alles klar. Ich werde mich darum kümmern.
Torpedo 4, Tube 4 needs maintenance. Yeah, they already did drop a lot, so maybe we're lucky. And sooner or later, yeah, but that was so many destroyers, so many corvettes up there. Yeah, don't think that we can hope for them running out of depth charge soon. Yep. Yeah, let's hope that it is masked at the moment.
Kommandant, wir wurden von SD geortet.
So there he... Yeah, very good. Thank you very much. What about the stern torpedo tube? It's loaded and maintained. Yeah, right. That would be a good tactics, maybe. But it's risky. Yeah, I do have decoys with me. Shall I try? One. Shall we try and launch a decoy? Just see what the effect is. Who's gonna do that? Mr. Arnes. Okay, now they are right above us, which means this is the point in time where we can turn on the pump.
Gegen diese Jäger.
Wasserbomben. Sehr nah.
Lenzpumpe einschalten.
Maybe we should get deeper.
150 Meter.
Yeah, to be honest, I never found out up to now what the decoys are actually good for. I never found some good use for them up to now, I have to admit. I always had that gut feeling that they just draw attention upon us. and not distracting from us. Okay, there we are. Oh shit, now things are... Close the bulkheads. What do we have? We have some leakage there of considerable flow rate. Loads of leakages. Let's see what we can do. Hole in the port side. Hole in the hull. Wow, that's so much water coming in. Oh fuck. That pretty much looks like we're not gonna make it. Oh, look how much water is coming in so fast. Oh, Nah, we are... Well, that was a big hit. That was a big hit. So they really made it. We are dead. The guys are dying there. Yeah. Yeah, I can't hear. Oh, guys. And we see how deep we are. Almost 300 meters. Yeah, okay. That was just a direct hit with the depth charge. No chance. Maybe the decals are not so good here. And there we are. Okay, and this is why I don't do the hardcore thing. Let's load this one. Not quite sure when did I do the last save. Yeah, come on guys, that was tough. But that was really a direct hit with one of the depth charges. So many leaks, no chance to get them. Yeah, right. Now let's see. Where are we right now? Okay, it's quite some time ago. We had some swimming time. Yeah, exactly. Aquizing. Ah, okay. No. Quite some time ago that I did the last save, so we get another chance.
Kurs setzen.
100 meters below the surface, yep. Yeah, now we get a second chance. We could reload and let's see if we can do it better. And we're still going flank.
Sicht, Peilung 55 Grad.
There we go. Yeah, I have actually. I resupplied. We resupplied at the milk cow and went back to the mission area, and now we have everything full. You're right. Full complement of torpedoes, full complement of deck gun ammo. This one there, that's the military one I would like to avoid. Yeah, swimming across the Atlantic. I think you could only do it with cheating, like when you have some kind of a support boat and swim in, get to the boat, have a rest, and then continue swimming. That wouldn't be decent, I would say.
Torpedorohr 5 gewartet.
Yeah, right, let's check the tubes. Yeah, looks alright. What about the stern tubes? Yep. Alright as well. Yeah, Scratchy is with us, alright. So we haven't had him in the stream for quite a few days. So welcome, Mr. Scratchy. Yeah, in terms of food, I think the crew is fine. Yeah, that's alright.
Herr Kaloi, feindliche Schiffe, gebt Alarm.
Oh, come on. Hey,
Kommandant, wir wurden von Technik geortet.
how could that be? Ah, no. Can't believe on that distance that they actually did detect me. Oh, shit. How could they do that on this distance? Okay, I'm going flank speed, but still. But still, no. That's an escort.
Kurs setzen. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Okay, now let's do the sneaky thing.
Schleichfahrt.
Silent running. And Let's go down.
Tauchen auf 100 Meter.
Aktuelle Tiefe.
Maybe we can still infiltrate into the convoy and get back to the surface to periscope depth when they are just passing by with the bulk of their merchantmen.
20 Meter.
Down we go. Dive plans electric. Let's put them to manual.
30 Meter.
Let's close the bulkheads. Hey, come on, they are doing alarm. How could that be? They're still so far away. Yeah, they're getting better and better. We are already 2.5 years into the war. It's August of 42. And meanwhile, the Brits and the US Navy really know what to do against U-boats.
Aktuelle Tiefe 65 Meter. Ich erwarte Ihre Befehle.
Okay, that guy is pretty close.
75
I might have overlooked him. That guy is just above us.
Meter.
Yeah, the US is already in the war, yeah. And as I love to emphasize, I'm pretty happy that they did. So after all these years, I'm still thankful
90 Meter.
that the Americans joined the war
Hörer 10 Grad.
to rid us of the madman
Rechtsbereit.
that we had here in Germany back then. Well,
Kommandant. Wir wurden
we have to admit that it was not just a madman, but there were plenty of people following that madman. And that's the bad lesson of history, that if you have some kind of leaders, you always find followers. Yeah, we are going down. Maybe we should go even deeper.
45 Grad.
Wow, it's already getting tough. Let me pause at that point. So, sorry guys, I'll be back in just 1 minute. I would say this is the toughest convoy that I actually ever had.
Aktuelle Tiefe 105 Meter.
Äußerste Kraft voraus.
Let's see that we get even deeper.
Auf 150 Meter.
Yeah, they're dropping upon us. Depth charts.
110 Meter.
Before we actually opened the hunt, we got hunted by ourselves.
Aktuelle Tiefe 28 Meter.
Let's sound alarm.
Ich könnte etwas Hilfe gebrauchen. Verstanden, Herr Kommandant.
Captain.
125 Meter.
Ja. Verstanden, Herr Kommandant. Kleine Fahrt vorab.
No decoys this time. Yeah, exactly. So that seemed to be a bad idea. Yeah, that's my feeling. I never really was able to make any use of the decoys up to now. Yeah, let's do some zigzagging. Flank keep speed. Change of course by 90 degrees and hope that we get away like that. Oh shit, they're really good. Before we could even start firing a single torpedo, they are upon us. What do you mean by OP? What do you mean with the abbreviation of OP? Sorry that I ask. No idea what you mean. Overpowered? Yeah, well, overvalued, over-evaluated, überbewertet.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Ich benötige hier etwas Unterstützung.
Alles klar. Ich werde mich darum kümmern.
Tauchen auf 150 Meter.
Oh, I want to get a bit deeper. Yeah, I have to admit that up to now I never had the impression that decoys did me any good when I tried to use them.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
145 Meter.
Tauchen auf. 120 Meter.
Schraubengeräusche direkt über uns.
Yeah, that sounds good to do it like that, yeah.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen.
Like right now.
130 Meter.
Feindliche Schiffe machen sich einsatzbereit.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable to use them like that. Like right now when I changed course I could have used it.
Aktuelle Tiefe 125 Meter.
Yeah, fingers crossed you still have these exams open, have you?
120 Meter.
Hey, these guys are really giving me some trouble. Yippee up. Okay, alright, it was a pleasure to have you in. So have a good rest of the day. Have a good rest of the Saturday. We are losing Yippee Yap. Yeah. No, don't leave us. Nah, it's alright. Yep, I wish you luck and take care. And have a good one. It was a pleasure to have you in. Bye bye, yippee yap. And looking forward to see you. I'm not gonna stream probably for the next 2 or 3 days because I have to work on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday pretty early. But latest Thursday night I am gonna be online again, maybe earlier.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Quite a bit of water in the bilge by now. That might become a problem sooner or later. That's really a tough convoy.
Aktuelle Tiefe 115 Meter. Wasserbomben. Sehr nah.
Oh shit.
Geräusche direkt über uns.
At that point, let's turn on the pump. When these noises are right above us, we could just as well make a hell of a noise. Wow, they are dropping like hell.
Feindliche Schiffe machen sich gefechtsbereit.
Wir wissen, wie es geht. Drehen wir den Spieß gegen diese Jäger.
Yeah, but now the enemy is just above me anyway, so it just wouldn't make any difference. They can't hear me. The destroyer above me is making a hell of a noise with their own propellers, so they are 100% masking the sound of my pump. And there we are back to zero. Zero water in the bilge.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Aktuelle Tiefe 115 Meter.
Yeah, I hope the crew is going to turn the pump off automatically now that the bilge is empty. Somebody should turn it off.
Lenzpumpe ausschalten.
Yeah, okay, nobody does. So let's do it manually. Thank you very much.
Kommandant, wir wurden von Estik
Yeah, again. Yeah, there are even escorts being stationary just to listen for us. Yeah, they're getting in on us again. Yep, they're still closing in. Yeah, I'm pretty glad that you can hear that also on the stream, that the sound effects are so alive also in the chat. They are still. Yes, they are definitely. I mean, even on the surface, a destroyer is faster than us. I think they can go up to 20 knots or something. We can go 17. And when we're submerged, our maximum speed is something like 10 or 12 knots. So no match. Yeah, you're completely right. Yeah, I think so. Off Trouty, I think as I understood you are relatively new in the game, but you're still pretty deep in. Yeah, I wanted to sink some of these ships, and now we are the ones being hunted. Yeah, well, maybe that wouldn't help much here, right? There are so many escorts up there, something like 5, 6, 7 men of war up there. So let's go.
Kurs auf diese Koordinaten setzen. Schneller, schneller. Tauchen auf 150 Meter.
Yeah. Yeah, there you see how great this simulation here is, U-Boat. That they have these things implemented.
125 Meter. Aktuelle Tiefe 135 Meter. Meter.
Ah, no, Scratchy. The ads are not that long. I don't have all the control about the ads, but since I went affiliate, at least I was able to limit the ads to something like 2 or 3 minutes. So if things work like I want them to work, it's like you could get maximum 2 minutes of advertising every 30 minutes. That's the minimum. You can make the ads longer and you can make the interval shorter, but if you want to kind of
Aber wir haben schon Schlimmeres überstanden. Lasst uns ruhig bleiben.
give the best boundary conditions to your watches, minimize the time and maximize the distance. Oh shit, again. Okay, depth charts in quite some distance, so looks like there is another German submarine around, maybe?
Tauchen auf 120 Meter.
Yeah, let's get back up. Hey, the red slapper. You do have quite a tricky name, the one red slapper. Great to have you in again. Had been a few days.
Aktuelle Tiefe 140 Meter.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you put it like to something like ads every 15 minutes, if you want to earn money, you might try to do that, but yeah, finally you wouldn't earn any money because people would be just pissed off by short kind of distances between them.
Kleine Fahrt voraus.
120 Meter.
Okay, all right. Yeah, nice.
115 Meter.
Yeah, this attack didn't really work out like I wanted to. In the past, I was pretty good with this kind of strategy. Get in front of the convoy, get to low speed, and let's just infiltrate into the convoy and sink one or two ships and get away. But this time, the escort was so aware. No chance. No real chance. Yeah, that's tough. That's really tough what we are experiencing here. Yeah.
Wir wissen, wie es geht. Drehen wir den Spieß gegen diese Jäger um.
Hey, thank you very much for the follow. Not wet, just cold. Yeah, alright. Nice to have you in. Good evening. That follow is much appreciated. So, don't hesitate to participate in the chat, even though the chat might occur to be pretty private. Yeah, we are a bunch of people. We know each other for a while, but nevertheless, we are always happy to have some other guys joining. Wow, this is so tough at the moment. And it's 50 liters of water again in the bilge. Yeah, of course, no maintenance anymore, because we are doing silent running. Yeah, just do as you like, as you feel most comfortable. I'm not doing that about the pennies, actually. I'm just doing that about the fun. Yeah, right. Yeah, right? It's a great game, isn't it? If you imagine that it's just a crew of one, of something like, I think, I don't know, four guys doing all that. It's a very small development crew. And they're really doing a great job. I love that game. If you ask me, it's the best sub-sim we ever had. Oh shit. They're getting us again. So, not wet. I understand that you are also quite experienced in the game then. Yeah, try it. It takes a little bit of time to get into it, but if you reduce the difficulty settings, it's alright. And then you can stepwise get into it. If you like it, increase the difficulty settings. Yeah, Buff Trotty, you're pretty new in the game and you are already getting the ropes of it, right? Yeah, warmly recommended. Really do it. Yeah, that's always that thing, right? You have your favorite games, and then to really start to really get into a new game, you know how much time you're gonna dump into it. And there are quite a few games on my list which I would love to dive into, but I just don't do it because, yeah, I know that I don't have the time and prefer to focus on my old loves, like this one here, like UBOAT, like Daisy. That's the two games that I frequently stream, and then there's one game which I usually don't stream because my gut feeling tells me that it's not really not interesting for anybody to watch, but that's Bannerlord. I love that medieval simulation, but I think there's not too much of a point to stream it because it's so complex. Yeah, Tarkov. Yep. I have been playing Tarkov and I loved it, but yeah, it dragged me so deep into it. There was so much immersion, it just stressed me too much. This is extraction situation and everything being so realistic with the bots and the other players. So Tarkov was like when you get back home and bring your family to bed, and after that just to want to do some relaxed gaming, then Tarkov was just too stressy for me. Although it's a great game, I would love it and I would love to play it, but yeah, too stressy for me.
Feindliche Schiffe geben Alarm.
Wir wissen, wie es geht. Drehen wir den Spieß gegen diese Jäger um.
Yeah, Bannerlords is great, but yeah, I think it takes you a little time to really get into it. I've been playing it since many years, so I'm pretty deep into it, but I think it's quite a bit of a trouble to get into all the concepts of that game. It's so complex. Timberborn, I don't know that one. Yeah, single play. That was already something that I got recommended to do it single player. Kind of making it less stressy. Maybe I'm going to try that. Yes, nothing better than slamming a torpedo after searching around for an hour. Yep, that's exactly what you get in U-Boat. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know Timberborn, I have to admit. But when you put it down like that, it sounds like it's kind of a construction simulation. Yes, War Thunder, missing submarines, yep. Yeah, it sounds like they have lost track of us. Is this possible? Maybe we are lucky. And they are passing by right now. Yeah, a lot of ships right above me. But yeah, I just can't judge whether they are escorts, whether they are men of war, or whether they are just helpless merchantmen. So, pretty hard.
Feindliche Schiffe geben Alarm.
Zeit, unseren Mut zu testen, Männer.
And if I look at the time, it's just 10 minutes to 3 around here in Europe, Germany, Frankfurt area. And yeah, sorry to say so, because we have a load of people in the chat, in the stream. It's a pleasure to have all of you guys in. So, like, yeah, it's perfectly fine if you had just been lurking silently, but of course I'm always happy to get some commands or maybe even a follow. But now I'm 3 hours in the stream. It's almost 3 o'clock at night around here, and I just have to go to bed, guys. Oh shit. Let's try to avoid this one. Let's avoid this one.
Tauchen auf 150 Meter.
It's weekend. Yeah, still, I mean, think I have to get up at 9 o'clock or something tomorrow to have breakfast with my family. So, but let's see that we get away from this. Depth charts being dropped pretty close. Not again, yeah. I can do longer, yeah. I don't know, I think probably on, tomorrow and on Monday. I have to get up early on Monday, I have to get up early on Thursday. So I'm probably not gonna stream the next 2 days, and then Tuesday and Wednesday I might stream DayZ, and then my next U-boat stream will probably be on next Thursday.
140 Meter.
Yeah, you're right. The runner wet slipper, you're completely right. That looks like it's going up a bit. And I'm pretty glad about that. And I'm so very thankful for all of you guys kind of participating in that and letting the number of watches constantly going up.
Tauchen auf 120 Meter.
Come on now, let's give it a save at that point. I give it a new name just in case something bad is gonna happen. W221. Save it, and yeah, sorry guys, I have to call it a day. I have to get to bed for now. So, it was a oh, hey, come on. You make it so hard for me now. We are up to 20 viewers. That's so great. I don't know, and that's even without somebody rating me.
135 Meter.
Amazing. Thank you guys. All you 20 people in the stream. Thank you very much. That's so great. And yeah, let's call it a day. And if you like DayZ just as well, we could meet each other maybe on Tuesday night, Wednesday night. And if you're pure U-boat watcher, we are gonna have our next U-boat stream on next Thursday. So see you guys. Thanks a lot for joining and have a good night. So any guy of you who is not following me, of course you could make a happy streamer a bit more happy by just following me, like Ryder. Thank you very much. That's so much appreciated. Great. Thank you very much for the follow. And I would love to have you back in the stream next week, and maybe even doing some comments, having a little chat with you in the chat. So guys, yeah, hit that follow button. That would be so nice. See you guys.